Agencies Drinking Beer is brought to you by Proposify, software that helps you deliver beautiful proposals in the cloud and close more deals.
Welcome to the 35th episode of Agencies Drinking Beer. On today's show, we're talking with Sarah Hart, and she's going to teach us how she transitioned her freelance design business into a six-figure training business. So I just got out of, let me first of all say we're going to have a very interesting interview with Sarah Hart coming up. She's awesome, and we used to work with her at Headspace. She used to be a designer at Headspace, our old agency, and she has done quite an interesting thing with her business. So you're going to hear that coming up. But first of all, I just wanted to tell you I came from an event at Volta, which is the startup house here in Halifax. And they had this CEO peer-to-peer lunch. So we just sat in a boardroom with a bunch of other founders from other companies. They had pizza, which, I shouldn't have eaten, but I did. It was
it
there.
good?
It was was really good.
Okay, good.
It was like hamburger pizza.
That's worth it then if it's good.
So, it was a good chance for just people from different backgrounds to come together and talk about a few things. And people are at different stages of their business. So Patrick Hankinson was there, very successful entrepreneur that Kevin and I know, when other people are very early stage and kind of everywhere in between. And an interesting topic came up, which is how you pay yourself as a founder. So when you run a company, obviously you need to pay yourself. You need to have a salary. So the question that came up was, at what stage in the company should you start paying yourself as a founder, and where does that money come from, and how much do you pay yourself, and that kind of thing. Any thoughts, Kevin?
There's so many variables there. I mean, if you think about, I've started a lot of businesses, not technology businesses, but in the past when I started other businesses, you pay yourself the minimal that you especially if you don't raise any money. You start from scratch. You just work your balls off, and you pay yourself when you can. I mean, that's how I used to do it. And let's face it, when we started this company, we didn't give ourselves huge salaries. We just kind of bump it up here and there when we can, and focus on building the business. So I don't really have an answer, a definitive answer.
Well, that is an answer. I mean, I think one thing that I would have done differently, maybe when I was freelancing, was that I would have set aside a regular salary for myself and stuck to it, and just had it automatically come out with the taxes and everything already taken off. I actually wish I set myself. I don't think WagePoint existed back then.
No, it didn't.
WagePoint's a great app that does your payroll automation and all that stuff. But that was the one thing that I didn't manage very well, was because essentially I might go weeks without a paycheck, but then once I did get a paycheck, it was for like $5 or $10,000 or something like that, and I would just cash it right away and use that for personal expenses. And then so it was always very difficult to regulate my income, and then I owed a lot of taxes at the end of the year because I didn't put anything aside. So I would have done that very differently. I think it depends on what kind of business you're in, because there was actually a guy there who was running a service company. He builds video games, and he actually wanted to build his own game that he sells, but right now he just kind of has to do it for hire to kind of keep money in the account. So, he talked about how he might get a contract in. He doesn't actually code himself, so he would have to outsource it to a freelancer, and that would eat up, a lot of the profit margin and whatnot. Any advice that you would give this gentleman? Apparently his family's kind of pressuring him to start making a paycheck soon, so some of us had different ideas. I don't know what you would say.
Get a second job.
Yeah.
Seriously. Get a night job. There's a lot of restaurants here that need help. That's what I did.
Yeah.
I mean, through businesses that I had. I remember starting my own restaurant and bar, Norton's, as you know, which became successful after the first couple of years. But I was in my mid to late 20s. I was also bartending a few nights a week in another bar. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but I mean, you do what you got to do. I didn't have a family, though. That's the big difference.
Yeah, I mean, even when we had sort of transitioned out of Headspace, we couldn't really go full time into Proposify yet. So we did different things. We did some consulting and some contracting. I built a couple WordPress sites on the, at
Fun
night
button.
to do it, which was fucking torture.
Yeah.
I don't know why I hate it now, but
I did some sales work and things on the side, and I even put resumes out just in case. And you got to do what you got to do.
absolutely. I think when service and product are so different, right? Like if you're selling a service, then you could actually land a contract. One contract could pay you for 2 months.
Yep.
And even though that's not, that's not your income for the year, that gives you enough of a runway. This is what I told this guy, is I said, like, first of all, if you land a contract and you only have enough out of that money to hire a freelancer, then you're not charging enough. Like, you need to be making some margins on it so you can pull some money out for yourself. But secondly, if you land a big enough contract that, say, pays your expenses for 2 months, get that freelance developer or whatever on it and go out and just get your ass in gear and start selling. Because, like, when you've got that runway, you need to, as the founder of a service business, your main job should be sales.
True.
And a guy there had said, like, what if you're not good at sales, or, what if you need to hire a salesperson?
This is a good topic to lead into Sarah Hart's thing, because some of this is covered on she stepped outside her comfort zone, asked for more money, put her sales cap on, and just rocked it.
Yeah, that's true. So that's Kevin's polite way of saying, let's end this discussion, let's move on.
Oh, no, not really.
Not really.
I think
You're like beating a dead horse there, Kyle.
Well, no, I think it's a great discussion. People have to get paid. You got families, and it's that balance. And there's so many variables. Are you single? Do you have families? Do you have debt? Do you not have debt? I mean, how do you like to live? Do you mind simplifying for a while? I mean, for us personally, when we, my wife went back to do the nursing refresher, and we knew we needed more income in the house now that we have another startup on the go.
Yeah.
You do what you got to do.
And I think when you have a product, maybe, leaving people with this is that raising money can help, but it's not the answer to all your problems. You still have to put in the work. You can't go to investors with an idea and say, pay me to work on this.
Right.
You won't raise anything. So next we're going to chat with Sarah, and she's awesome, and enjoy talking to Sarah Hart. Very pleased to have Sarah Hart on the podcast today. Sarah's right here in Halifax, Nova Scotia, sitting in front of me, which is a rare experience. Sarah is a designer here and runs an online business, which we're going to talk to her about. But thank you, or welcome to the show. I won't thank you just yet, till the end. Welcome to the show, Sarah.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. This is awesome.
Oh yeah, excited to have you. Wanted to chat with you for a while. So, what the listeners don't know is that Sarah used to be a designer at Headspace, our old agency, and left us, as people often do.
One of the things I miss the most
Made
is
us
that
cry.
laugh. I missed that laugh. When I was walking in here, I could tell you were in the building.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It was really difficult. Like, I just had to go. It just was a horrible experience. So, yeah.
Oh, good. Good to know.
No, it was amazing. No, working with you guys was like the most fun I ever had. So.
Oh, no. You're just exaggerating now. But I think you were our first full-on designer.
I think
at
so.
Headspace.
Yeah. I replaced you.
You replaced, yeah. And you did a good job of it too.
Yeah.
Actually, we weren't. I don't think you knew this till the other day when I told you, but we weren't hiring when we hired you. Mm-hmm. Sarah cold emailed me a PDF of her portfolio, and it was so good I had to have you in and find a way to hire you on. And so I think you were with us for about a year and a half or something like that. But now you always worked part-time for us because you had a lot of other stuff going on.
Yeah.
So the arrangement made a lot of sense. What else were you working on at the time?
I did freelance locally doing website design and PDFs and all that stuff.
You were competing with us? You didn't tell us that.
Yeah, I think I did.
No.
Yeah. I had my own projects on the side, yeah.
What was was it called Heart by Heart?
Heart to Heart.
Heart to
Yeah, it was
Heart,
my
yes.
first business, yeah.
That's right. What was that?
Yeah, so I sold greeting cards at the farmer's market for about 2 years, which was like really, really fun to do. It was like my passion project for those 2 years.
Yeah.
But got really tired of getting up at like 5 a.m. on like Saturday mornings every day in the summer. So
Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that. So when you put in your notice and made us all cry at Headspace, what did you do after that?
yeah, that was like such a scary time. I think I was like so terrified because I knew that, it was time for me to, like, I was getting more clients and I had just gone to this conference in the States where I made some really great connections. And I was like, oh my God, yes, this is my time, ready to do the next thing. And so basically when I stopped working for you guys, I really just started blogging. I had started a blog about a year, maybe it was half a year before that. And so I knew that I really wanted to create that online business because when I was at that conference, I met people who were in the States and all over the world. And I was like, oh, I want to have these clients who, are everywhere. I'm ready for that. I'm ready to go from local to working with people all over the world. So that was my focus. I was like, okay, how can I build my brand? How can I use my blog more? How can I get those new clients? What does it take to do that? So that was my focus after I left.
Yeah. And so you were doing still, freelance design. Now you've kind of migrated your business into doing less, or are you doing any design or consulting at all?
I totally retired myself. It's been 6 months since I've taken a client project for a website, and it's like the best feeling in the whole world.
You're being retired, are you playing golf now?
Yeah,
Good,
just
great,
chilling.
great.
You spend a lot of time on golf. Do you putter in the? I bet you putter in the garden, don't you? In the summertime.
I wish I had.
You're not a gardener?
I would love to be a gardener, but I don't have that. Soon I will be.
Here's the thing, people, about Sarah. Sarah loves flowers.
Yes.
Quite a bit. And in fact, you're wearing a flower. Your shirt or blouse has flowers all over it. So, in my mind, when I picture Sarah Hart, I picture flowers everywhere.
That's good. Yeah.
So, and you don't garden? You don't garden?
Oh, I try. Well, you know what? Last summer I actually grew a zucchini, so I'm really excited about that.
Nice.
So,
Congratulations.
yeah.
That's more practical than flowers, isn't it? You can eat it.
Yeah. I tend to kill things even though I love flowers so much. So
You killed a mole the other week, didn't you?
I didn't kill it.
You might have killed it. Tell them that story.
Yeah, this is so relevant. Well, no.
It's not relevant at all, but it's a good story.
No, I just I took my dog out for a walk, and then she ended up digging this big hole, and I just thought she was looking for a bone, but she ended up digging up this mole, and so she grabbed it, and I thought, well, maybe it was hibernating in the hole. I don't know. I felt really bad. I thought I was going to freeze to death, so I picked it up and put it in my pocket, and then I took it home, and then I had it in my house before I realized that maybe I should just let this guy go. So it might be dead. I don't know.
Wasn't it stunned when you picked it up, so it was very docile, but then
Yeah.
once it realized, where the fuck am I? It just started, freaking out and trying to bite you.
I felt really, it bit me. It was we tried. I thought I was doing a nice thing, but it was I was I should just left them all where it was.
Did good on the Bobby.
It is the thought that counts, though.
Yeah.
You tried.
Yeah.
Little mole's got to realize that. Okay, so anyway, moving on. So you haven't taken on design projects for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your business? What do you do, and how are you making money?
Yeah, so it was really kind of amazing. So I did, after I left Headspace, I did a ton of working as a website designer for people all over the world, and I ended up getting a bunch of clients, which was awesome. But then I remember I didn't even get a summer that year because I had overbooked myself so much, and I remember being so cranky because I'm I never want to do this again where, I have all this freedom, but I don't even get to be outside on beautiful days. I mean, we don't even get that much nice weather here. So I was like, damn it, this is really important to me. So I needed to make a change in my business. So a bunch of my friends and I took this really fantastic online course called Marie Forleo's B School.
What is it?
It's called Marie Forleo's B School.
Okay.
And it's basically just teaches you how to be an entrepreneur online. And and it's just awesome. And there's a huge community of like 13,000 people who've taken it, and it's just like amazing community. And a lot of these people teach online courses. And so I was like, oh, maybe I should try this, but I was absolutely terrified because I didn't think I would be a good teacher, and I was like, I don't know, but I just felt like called to do it. And I had a bunch of friends locally who were like, you should do it, because they had done it. And so I was like, okay, because I was like, remember being super frustrated too, because all my clients had the same problems. Like, I was like, I just need to write something. I need to write them a guide because they're driving me nuts. Everybody is doing the same things over and over, and I need to create a resource for them.
What were some of those problems?
I think the biggest one is just people, when you're working with a client, their decision making is so fear based. It's like, and so in comparison to what everyone else is. So I basically, what I wanted to tell people is like, stop, like put your horse blinders on. Like, this is about you. This is like, especially if you're a personality based brand, like you cannot be looking at what all these other people online are doing. You cannot be, making decisions, like saying yes to me about something and then a week later getting totally terrified to put yourself out there and saying, no, let's change everything and make it like super white and clean and not put any personality into it. So that's basically what I need to write. I need some sort of resource for people to help them with that. And so I end up taking no clients for 2 months, which was terrifying because I had no money. And I was like, hopefully this will make up for it. So I spent like 2 months writing a workbook for people. And then I decided, okay, maybe I'll make this into an online training. So I did 2 days of live design training. So basically I was teaching people how to choose like their fonts and colors and how to put your brand together. And I thought 2 days would be enough time, which was, now that I think about it, like so stupid. But anyway, so I put that together. So it was basically, I had a webinar program. I use Webinar Jam. And so it's basically an online program where you're live in front of people and they can type into the chat box and ask you questions. So I decided to create this program where it was 2 days. They get these workbooks, and then they get these 4 live sessions with me. I'm basically live with them, and then there's a Facebook group where I'm teaching everybody, okay, this is how to put together your website and brand. And so I did that. I reached out to probably 60 people individually who I thought would be interested in it, and I got about 11 people sign up for it, and it was at like $190 or something like that. So I made math.
Like $1,900.
Yeah. So like,
2,000.
it was like the same as doing like, it was great because it was the same as what I was charging to do a website. So it's like, wow, it's just like a regular client.
For the 2 days of work that it's been putting it together.
Well,
or was it the 2 months that it's been? Did you spend 2 months putting this all together? Or
yeah, well, I spent a lot of time creating the worksheet. But then once they were done, which was nice.
Yeah.
So I did that program, and then it was 2 days, and I remember I was so scared because I didn't think I was going to be good at it at all. I thought I've never really taught people ever, and so it was terrifying. I didn't even sleep the night before because I was so scared. And then I did it, and I remember I did a live session, and I was sure, I was like, oh my God, like not a lot of people were asking questions in the chat, and I was like, oh my God, they hated it. I was like, oh my God, everyone's going to want a refund. And I was so terrified, and I remember I went and I had a bath, and I came back, and I had like a bunch of emails from people saying how much they loved it and how like they were just so impressed. So I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So that kind of snowballed. So I was like, wow, once that finished, I was like, okay, this is great. I love doing this. People love it. Obviously, they need more than 2 days to know how to make their website. Like, that was pretty silly.
But why was that silly? So it was 2 days for them to, like, from start to finish to do what? To put together a website, or?
Yeah, like to choose like all their actually the first one I wasn't even doing website design. It was just like how to choose your fonts and colors and graphics and all that. And people basically, I basically did a survey at the end and said, what do you want? And people were like, more time. So I did it again in December, and then that time I got 36 signups, and I raised the price too. So I think I made $10,000. I was like, oh my God, this is fantastic. And so I ran the course again, this time over a 1 week period in January. And then that went great. I put together a course site. I used a program called Optimize Press, where I had a course site where people had login information and all that stuff. So I kind of gradually upgraded it. And then, so that went really well. And then I was really, really adamant about surveying people too. Like, okay, what needs to change? What needs to be better to make this a better resource for people? So I started adding more and more videos. The first one actually was the only time I ever did it as a recording. All the other times I just did pre-recorded videos and had everything step by step laid out for everybody. And then I had a huge launch in April. So I'm just like doing this again and again. I'm like, this is going great. I already made, $12,000. So I was like, well, let's see what I was like, maybe I can make $20,000 on my next launch. And so I had a really big launch in April. I did a ton of webinars promoting it. Like I just grew. I remember I kind of made the connection where like, okay, a certain percentage of my list will buy. At the time it was like 1 to 2% of people who are on my email list will buy from me. It's just a numbers game. I just need to grow my list. And so I remember I had 1,200 people at the beginning of the year. And then by the time I finished my launch, I had 2,500. And so I did that launch and I was amazed because I remember watching it and I got like 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And it kept on getting higher and higher. And I eventually reached 100 people signed up and I made $50,000 in 1 month. I was like, oh my God.
Sweet.
It was amazing. And actually, I was so scared. I was the scariest I've ever was. I was like, this means that there's going to be some crazy people in my course and people are going to like be calling me out and wanting refunds. And it's so funny how I instantly I thought that was way too many. I'd never had that many people in my course, but it was amazing. I think what's amazing is that, because I have a very personality-based brand, is that the people that I attract were just like me. They were super positive. And it's funny because the support that, like, when people did ask for support, they were like the nicest people ever. They'd be like, I'm so sorry, I must be doing something wrong, but I love your course, but can you please help me with this? And I was like, oh my goodness, like you...
It's like the law of attraction. You're attracting people that are like you, which is awesome.
Yeah, I love the law. Yeah, I love the law of attraction, yeah.
Well, there's something about you, Sarah, where, and I mean this as a compliment, but it can be easy to underestimate you because you're so nice, and I mean that like in a good way. You're humble, you're very positive, and but I mean you're a hustler. Like, do you find that because of, I mean, it's your brand, but really it is your personality. You're not faking it. You're really like this, but. Do you find that sometimes people underestimate you because of that? Because you can seem a little shy or quiet? Because from what I understand, and I have intelligence in this area, I know somebody that used to be really, really shy when you were younger. How have you just been this brand doing webinars to hundreds of people?
I know, isn't it crazy? And it's so true. Yeah, I used to have crazy anxiety when I was a kid too. Like I would even have anxiety attacks when I was younger. Like just, yeah, it's crazy. So I remember, I think I just got really tired when I was younger. I think that kind of, I'm trying to think when that kind of stopped or gradually stopped was, I just got really tired of that. Like, I feel like I'm amazing and and I don't want to be held back by that. So I feel like, you know what, like, what I notice is that whenever I do things that scare the hell out of me, like, it just helps me grow as a person and also gives me amazing results in my business. So it's like, okay, what scares the hell out of me? Oh, doing webinars. Like, I could not sleep the night before I did my first webinar, but I did it because I knew it was going to be a scary new thing that was going to push me to be, I don't know, better in life, and just, it's exciting to do new things that challenge you. So yeah, it's
like it upgrades you or something. Like when you do something, it takes you to the next level.
Exactly. Yeah. I love that. I think what I love about, especially when you're a personality-based business, is that is not just about, I'm not just trying to make money. I'm not just trying to create a business. I am trying to grow myself. I'm trying to be the best. Like, when I'm the best I can be, I'm making the most money. I'm creating this amazing community. Yeah. It's just the way it is. It's like the more I work on myself, the more my business is going to grow. It's like,
yeah, it's almost like when you're just trying to make money, it's very difficult. When you're trying to provide as much value as possible to a certain group of people, the money naturally comes.
That's exactly it. And I think just wanting, because I want people to figure it out. It's really empowering when people figure out how to do their own websites. Like, that's what I love about it, is like, they can do it. And
you don't have to do it now.
Yeah.
You don't have to make the logo bigger.
That's the beauty of this business model, right? It's recurring. You've got your content in there now. From what I understand, it's subscription-based, right? So they can go back in there. They can at any time. And, I mean, that's brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, my God. It's like, it's so funny because to compare, like when I was working one-on-one with clients, I had no time to work on any personal projects. I had no time, like almost no time to do anything I wanted to do. Now I have so much extra time, I feel guilty. I literally only work 12 hours a week. I'm like, and it's going great. Like that's a good amount. Like that's me still growing and hustling and growing my business like crazy.
Yeah, you're not being lazy.
No.
You're
You're optimizing your time, though. You're optimizing
Yeah.
that time. I bet when you do those 12 hours, you're just like, you're on it. right?
Yeah.
And then, so I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, just creating new content. Like that's
Yeah.
my biggest focus really right now is just like what content can I put out there? And I've been doing like YouTube. I did a YouTube video for every day of January so far. So I've just been trying to put more and more. I'm doing my second webinar actually on Thursday of this month. So I'm trying to do 2 webinars a month, YouTube videos, everything. Just giving so much value to people because that's what brings people in is just how much you give.
And if you have a link to that, we'll put that in the show notes if you want to promote that webinar. So, I mean, the other thing that you do, it sounds like you do really well, which we preach, we sound like a broken record on this podcast, is choosing a very narrowly defined audience. And so who would you say is your ideal customer? Who would you say makes up the majority of your audience?
Yeah. I feel like I really attract people just like me, which I love. So most of my
There's only one you.
Yeah.
There's only one Sarah Hart.
But most of my people are women entrepreneurs who have online businesses, and they're usually in like health or coaching or like any sort of design background. So they have a sort of creativity to them. They want to stand out. They don't want to be like just like anyone else online. They want to be different, and also they want to change the world with what they do. You know, they have a purpose behind what they're doing. So yeah.
Yeah. And it seems like positivity is a huge part of your brand and the people that you attract. So how do you attract those people, and why, I mean, it sounds silly, but why is positive energy such a big part of what you do?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I don't even think I could even strategize that. That's just like who I am. And
I can do it. It's infectious. It's catchy.
Yeah.
It is. It's like very catchy.
Yeah.
I want some of that. What are you taking?
And it's so
Don't answer that.
I think it's really easy to kind of try to water yourself down and be professional. I hate that word. Like, you want to be like, I think by rejecting any sort of idea of what I should be and just being myself and just being positive, I think that's refreshing to people. I think people are like, okay, like this is nice. And people say that to me sometimes. They're like, oh my God, like they'll watch the beginning of my webinars and I'll do dance before. Like I'll do like, I'll do like 5 minutes of dancing in front of everybody. And then I'm like giggling and laughing, and people will message me and say, oh my God, I didn't think I was going to learn this much from like, most of my...
You instruct them through interpretive dance?
I just do interpretive dance the whole time. No, that's just the beginning. That gets the good energy happening. So, yeah, I think honestly, we're just so tired of, like really structured professional brands who are just like so boring. We just want real people now. And I think that's like the number one thing is like the more that you can let go of all those fears about what you want to be perceived as and just like accept who you are, like the more people are going to love you and your brand. It's just the way it is. Yeah.
What if, I feel like I'm a naturally cranky person. Like, I've got a lot of negativity in me that I'm trying to, exercise out. So what would you recommend for me to be a more positive person? Like, what are some things that I can do to try and shed negativity?
Well, first off, I think being a cranky brand is kind of fun. Like, that can be, like, I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, do you know Gary Vaynerchuk?
Yeah.
Like, he's super, like, he's like, what's his word that he uses? It's so funny. He's like, oh, I'm salty today. And people love it. People love when he's
Mike
salty.
Montero as well. Do you know him, the designer?
No, I don't know him.
He's so good. You should check him out. But
yeah.
He's very cantankerous. And, yeah.
So I think if that's, like, who you are, then go for it. But if you want to be more positive,
Maybe do a dance before you start, right? Dance helps.
Yeah.
Kevin and I discussed like a pre-podcast routine where we wrestle, right?
Yeah.
We're going to wrestle somewhere.
Jello wrestle.
Yeah? You can put together the Jello. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Actually, Kyle's a great dancer. I saw him actually the other weekend.
Tell me more.
You saw me with copious amounts of
Do you
wine.
have it on your iPhone?
I wish I had a recording.
You know what song Sarah and I danced to?
Yeah.
Tonight. I don't know the words. Queen song. Don't stop me now. Don't stop me because I'm having a good time.
That was
Having
great.
a good time.
Queen?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I thought we did Michael Jackson too.
We did beat
Yeah.
it. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
I wish you had the video.
I know, it was good. I was
Next
dancing up a storm.
time.
I have to be
Sneak it in.
drunk off my ass to dance.
You were drunk
Then I
off
enjoy
your
it.
ass.
Oh, I was. I hide it well. His liver has seen some things. Yeah. How are we doing for time?
I would say we got another 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Oh wow.
Wow. What are we going to talk about?
We could do 5.
We've covered so much. So one thing, when you said, you started your first webinar, you kind of had a bit of an audience built up already, because it's very hard to start with nothing. So what would you say if somebody is, let's say they do design or consulting or something, and they kind of want to have their own online brand, but they don't have an audience yet? What would you kind of recommend as the first steps?
Yeah, so I use Facebook ads and I love them. So that's what I use. Like every time I do a webinar, I put out, I pay for advertising to bring people to it. And it just works amazing because what I love about webinars is that you are giving people the real you. They're signing up to see a video of you live where they can interact with you and see your personality. So it actually really, really creates great connection right away. So that's what I would suggest is even if you don't have any list, is to put out a free training that you think people would like, and then do some paid advertising or just share it and get a handful of people on that webinar, and then from there you can start asking people, okay, what do you want to learn from me? Because I think the biggest mistake I made when I first was starting doing online courses is that I assumed that I knew what people wanted, and that just doesn't make any sense. What I thought people would need to know was nothing compared to what they actually wanted to know after I started doing surveys. So I think
What's an example? Can you give an example?
I think for the course I was doing, I thought they would want to know really advanced stuff about designing and just really theory.
Right.
But really,
X-axis, baseline,
Yeah,
typography.
Really what they wanted was just really simple tips of how to choose how to install a font on your computer. You know what I mean?
Really?
That's one of my most asked for videos is how do I do that again? So it's when I realized that, oh my goodness, what you actually want from me is just so easy for me to do. It's not even a big deal. I think we can overthink.
We did that in our own business.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Well,
we had to really simplify. It's what people wanted.
it's true. And I mean, an example would be when we first launched Proposify, we didn't offer online signatures because we didn't, or metrics even.
Or even templates.
Yeah, because we didn't think people wanted them, because we thought, well, what would I want? Well, we don't use, we don't get signatures done online. We don't really need metrics of where clients looked at. That's not important. But then we found through a lot of customer development was that everybody wants this.
Yeah.
So, it's a prime example. So you started sending out surveys of what do you actually want, and then changing and refining your course based off that.
Yeah. I think there's
Awesome.
that's just how you be successful is just
time.
give people what they want, right?
Just listen. All
I
you gotta
think
do is listen.
it's so ego driven if you're just I know what people want, and then
Yeah.
it's no, you don't.
And in addition to webinars, you also have ebooks, correct, that you sell?
Yeah.
Is it an ebook?
No.
I was misinformed then.
Yeah, you're misinformed.
Somebody we know lied.
Oh, okay.
But that's a good idea. I could see an ebook in your future.
Yeah, I think having I'll sell when I'm not selling my course, because I'm actually going to sell it only once a year now, because it's just going to be one big launch for the whole year. But I'm also going to sell because I'll do those webinars and I'll have replays that are only available for 3 days. And then I'll sell those webinar replays as a bundle, which I just did in January, which was great. So that's a little extra income. And then also I do a lot of affiliate stuff too, which is great. I love doing, because you're just promoting what other people are doing and you get a commission. So
Yeah.
that's great too.
What are some kind of things that you promote through affiliate? Or do you just want to link in the show notes so you get your commission? Because they can't track it through the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, one I'm doing in February is for Lead Pages. Do you know Lead Pages?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I'm doing an affiliate with them.
Cool.
So that's cool. And just like a bunch of other people, like online entrepreneurs that I work with. So
Out of curiosity, where would the percentage or where would the largest part of your audience be? The U.S. probably?
yes. Yeah, I think it's like 70%
Do
US.
you get paid in U.S. dollars?
Oh, yes, I do.
High five.
High five for
So do we.
that. I'm like, it's so funny because I had like, I put all my tax money in it's all in my PayPal account, and then it's just been growing and growing. Like, it's like I just made like thousands of dollars from just putting my tax money in my PayPal account because it's all in US dollars and I haven't converted it to Canadian yet.
Oh, right. Once you convert it.
Yeah.
So it's like wait just before the loonie starts
Yeah.
growing in value.
I'm like, oh, this is great.
Yeah. For those who don't know, the Canadian dollar is, I think, 40 cents of the US
42
dollar.
or 43 cents.
Yeah. It's very.
A lot
yeah.
less.
Mm-hmm.
It actually is. It's getting to be actually Monopoly money now. You can use it in a game of Monopoly. Yeah.
But you're not allowed to buy Park Place with it, though.
No, it's not worth enough.
No.
Yeah, it's sad, but it is good if you live in Canada and you export your services. And
Or tourism. It's going to be great for tourism.
Yeah.
nobody can hear you. Nobody
Sorry.
can hear you.
I'm good.
I always hear Kevin echoing in the background.
Yeah.
my God!
That's what producers do. We're in the booth. I'm in the booth right now. I'm behind the glass.
Oh my God. I think it's great though, like thinking about like, especially Nova Scotia too, like if we're, as online entrepreneurs, like it doesn't matter how our economy is going. Like I'm bringing money from places where the economy is better, like, and bringing it back here and spending my money locally. Like that makes me feel good. It's like,
Absolutely.
Big time.
You
Big
know.
time. Yep.
And, keeping, like what we are trying to do with Proposify is keep the staff here and not have a remote distributed team, and for a lot of reasons. But I mean, you can get great talent here that doesn't charge Toronto or Vancouver prices.
LA. Yeah.
But also just having, one central place you keep everybody. And it just feels good to be, building something meaningful out of Halifax, which isn't, people don't really think. It doesn't have a huge amount of, not necessarily respect, but just there's a lot of people just don't know where Halifax is or Nova Scotia.
Call it an ecosystem.
Yeah.
yeah, I love that. It's kind of like underdog. We're like,
Really,
yeah,
yeah.
we're kind of badass over here, aren't we?
Underdog.
But yeah, no, what you guys are doing is amazing. Like I'm like in awe.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you. But,
Vice versa.
yeah, vice versa. I mean, I think a lot of freelancers would love to kind of get where you're at because, I mean, let's face it, and I don't want to insult anybody listening because a lot of listeners are doing service for clients and building websites or whatever it is, but I think anybody doing that would admit that client services is a tough racket. There's, for a variety of reasons, just, selling your time and invoicing and waiting on payments and clients can be difficult. What was the thing you mentioned earlier about how you kind of lost your summer because you took on too much work and you didn't have enough time. Like, what was the worst part, I guess, other than that to you when it came to freelance design?
Yeah. I kind of love it though. Even though when it was hard, it was good in my personal development. Like it was really hard to like start asking for more money when I needed more money. Like that was like a week-long turmoil of like, I have to ask for more money. And then when I did, they actually were like, oh, yeah, sure, no big deal. Which was like, oh my God, I can't believe I stressed over that. So I think just like the stress of like, oh my goodness, like what do I owe to this person? Especially if there's like some sort of miscommunication, what do I do? Does that mean I'm a bad person that I didn't do it? So I think just like, it was like, dramatic to be in this client relationship with people where, especially when it's website design, especially when you're working with when someone's like, you want to represent someone's personality on the internet, like that's a whole nother level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it is, it can be very wavy. Trying to think about like, what was the worst part?
Do you ever have anybody stiff you on a job?
I don't know if I want to talk about it because
You're still going to court over that?
I have a client who still, if I post this, she'll listen to it. So I'm not going to say
Okay.
that. I'm not going to talk
So,
about it.
okay, enough said. Okay, so moving on, you mentioned to me earlier that you are planning another whole campaign and series, but you also said that you're kind of stepping it up a notch, and you're investing a lot more in yourself than you normally would. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, I'm really excited, and I'm doing another launch in April, and my goal is to double my sales from last time, or better, maybe triple, who knows. And so I'm just like ready to go pro. I think I had a really big aha moment last year when I realized that I was spending a lot of time like spending a lot of money like developing myself, like growing and learning new things, but I wasn't spending any money in actual like promoting my brand and advertising. And so I remember last year I bought lead pages. I like up my like at Facebook ads budget to like $1,000 a month, and which felt like so much money, but now I'm thinking that's like wasn't so much at all. And just like I think when you realize that like this is just like a numbers thing, like if I can just grow and grow, this money that I'm putting into my brand is just like it's just going to come back in spades, because you're just growing you're growing like crazy. So I think I think there's like a mental block too, where you don't want to like, you always want the free. I used to always want the free stuff, you know what I mean? I'd be like, oh, it's too expensive, now I'm like, no, like it just makes sense to invest in it just really does.
Yeah, you get what you pay for in life. Often, not always, but if you're willing to invest, you'll see that back if you do it right. So it sounds like that's what you're doing. Congratulations on everything, all the success and everything that you're up to. It sounds like you're having a blast.
Yeah, it's like, it's crazy. I can't believe, like, because I didn't think that this online program would be I didn't even think it was going to be my main income, but it's like, oh my God, like just the time I have now is amazing. And just like knowing that I've been working on personal projects. Like I have a bunch of like my own stuff that I'm working on. It's like, it frees up so much time, and it just makes so much sense. And it's just great.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming in and being on the show.
Yeah, thank you. This was so much fun.
Great to have you.
All right, see you, Sarah.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Do you think Sarah dreams in cartoons?
Absolutely. Cartoons and flowers and flowery cartoons.
Yeah. Sarah's awesome.
Gosh, her smile, laugh, I miss that.
She lights up a room.
She does.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's great.
Yeah, I miss working with her for that reason.
Yeah, she's fun to work with. Super positive. Even when shit's going bad, she's like, I don't know how she is. I can't act that way. I'm too much of a crusty curmudgeon.
She posted a picture of the podcast, of her on the podcast on her Facebook page, and wouldn't you know it, that smile, like it was amazing.
That's right.
Yeah.
It lit up computer screens across Facebook.
No, I'm really happy for her. I mean, it couldn't have happened. Her success could not have come to a better person, and she deserves it.
Oh, she works for it.
Yep.
Yeah, put in the time.
Yep.
Cool. Well, we hope you enjoyed that. And next week, actually, we're going to be having an interview with Thomas Rankin and Michaela, can't remember the last name, from Dash Hudson. And they're going to be telling us about how they built a really cool Instagram-based business where they were originally kind of a B2C company, and now they offer Instagram metrics and how they did all that. And so you guys will enjoy that, hopefully. Until next time, please give us a like on Facebook. No, I don't even know what I'm saying. Rate us on iTunes, review us on iTunes, and share us with your friends and family.
And don't forget to send in questions if you have any, or if you want to be on the show, let us know.
Please send in questions. Please. Okay. Bye for now.
Later.